just staying there.
Okay, so as you do this drill now, so the feel of what I'm asking you to do is keep the angle in the right arm and the wrist and put the club into impact. So it's a very extreme way of doing things, right?
Yeah.
Now, you could hold the angles in the arms without any rotation, start dropping the right shoulder back, head would translate back. You'd never get it to impact doing it that way, would you? You'd have to quickly at the last minute pull away and straighten the arm. Yeah. So in order for you to put this club in an impact position where the head's not dropping back and you're not having to straighten this right arm out at the last minute, you have to turn and side bend, turn and side bend, turn and side bend, turn and side bend. Now, if you were hitting these shots at full speed, you would continue to turn and side bend, but you'd also start to push up out of the ground.
Yeah.
Which is why you see very few players with a right arm that looks like that at impact. Yeah. With a shorter club, you might see it. You do see some players whose right arm is like this, 6.5, but they're starting to push up, so at some point that right arm does have to straighten. But if it's straightening whilst you're turning and side bending, you're in a position where your hand path is going to be a little bit more this way through impact, as opposed to flung out in this direction. Yeah. So you're not just turning, you're turning and side bending, and the side bending is produced by the hip slide that you're kicking in. There's a little bit of right knee flex as well that plays a part, but that linear aspect is still in there. So just because you're making this move doesn't mean that there's no hip slide.
Yeah.
There is a hip slide, it's just being directed differently because you've introduced a little bit more of a rotation. If all you did was rotate, you wouldn't look like that. That makes sense to you. So you're clearing your sort of your picture up in your mind of what you've got to try and achieve.
I understand. So it's not just a case of just trying to turn and
no.
just keep turning through.
Yeah, exactly. If all you did was turn, you'd miss the ball completely, wouldn't you? Yeah, you'd never hit it. Yeah. So there's a turn and a side bending, and that side bending is generally speaking because of the hip slide going in continuously. So during your downswing, but particularly from 5.5, P6, P5.5, you're turning, extending, and sliding. Yeah? And depending on the rates at which you do those things will depend how your swing looks. You definitely, if your rates change, the look changes. So the player who extends more than he turns and side bends will look a certain way. Generally the right arm will run out too quick, swing will be directed out to the right too much. Player who turns and flexes without extending, hand path would be very low, path would be left. Angle of attack would be steep, etc., etc. So there's always a different look depending on the rate at which you do things from sort of 5.5 to 6.